Hello and welcome to Experts Unplugged Leadership Speaker Spotlights from the Tri-State Camp Conference, where I, as a fellow speaker at the conference, I'm going to highlight some of our amazing speakers from the upcoming Tri-State Camp Conference, which is through the American Camp Association in the New York and New Jersey chapters. And that's going to be taking place March 12th to 14th at the Atlantic City Convention Center in New Jersey. So our chat here today focuses on leadership and how our expertise impacts others to really think like leaders. I'm Joanne Newborn. I'm CEO of Newborn Evolution, where we help smart leaders build teams that think strategically, problem solve effectively, and take true ownership of their outcomes. And today I'm talking to Diana Bloom about her talk, Leading from the Middle. Now, Diana feels privileged to be able to spend her time supporting camps and many other organizations as a consultant in the area of accountability. And participants around the world have gained knowledge and tools during her seminars, professional development training, conference workshops, webinars, and executive coaching sessions. She's helped her clients and their teams implement changes that improved accountability and reduced stress in their personal and professional lives. Additionally to her consulting, Diana considers herself really lucky to have spent a total of 13 summers working at URJ Camp Coleman. And her last 9 summers were in the role of head counselor, where she supervised 7 unit heads each summer who oversaw 80 plus bunk staff and over 400 campers per session. Wow, that, that is amazing. So thank you so much for sharing time with me today, Diana.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell me how your session will help leaders in the middle succeed, because this is really fascinating to hear that term.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Well, folks that are familiar with me and my sessions know that I like to get practical. I like to give implementable, proactive tips and ideas. So this session is about empowering ourselves to influence the supervisor direct report relationship positively so that it benefits us, so that it benefits our boss, and ultimately benefits our camp and our organizations. I feel like relationships are our greatest resource, and in camping, our greatest product. And so these sessions help us succeed in building those relationships and around the particular challenges of being in that middle power.
Yeah, and that's a difficult space to be in, the middle space, right?
Yeah, it's like you have some power, you're leading, but you're also following, and you
Yeah.
have some power, but not sometimes enough power, and you are just, you feel a little bit stuck.
Yeah. So how much of your work in the areas of accountability, which I love, I'm really passionate about accountability, productivity, and efficiency. How does this session tie in with all of those topics?
Yeah, thanks for asking. In so in my sessions around accountability, I focus on, how do you do what you said you were going to do, the way you said you were going to do it, when you said you were going to do it, so that you can be accountable, so people can trust you, people feel comfortable collaborating with you. And I talk about systems and processes to be more productive. How do I bridge the gap between what I intend to do and what I deliver? And be less stressed and less overwhelmed. So in this session around managing from the middle, it's about accountability. It's about claiming responsibility for what's happening to you in that supervisor and direct report, relationship. And that it's about, I'm accountable, and there's really nobody to blame. I think when we get into the blame thing, it's like
Mm.
it's their responsibility to supervise me and not my responsibility, and a little maybe victimy. So how do I hold that power and use that power to create opportunities and choices for myself instead of feeling stuck?
Mhm.
And how do I, there's a book called The Art of Possibility by the Zanders, and they talk about one of their practices is, how can I be the whole game board and not just a piece on the board? And I think that for me, that's where that middle management is, because sometimes you feel like I'm just a piece and I want people to see like you're the board, like nothing lives outside of your power, nothing lives outside of your control. Bring those problems and challenges in to your space, and then move from, I say, shoulding to coulding. Like we should on people a lot. They should, he should, and then we feel stuck because they're not. And I say, like, don't should on people, don't should on yourself, and think about always what could. Okay, this isn't working. What could I do? This isn't, I feel stuck here. What's a possibility for me? So it's still all about accountability.
Yeah, I love all of that because I there's a lot of people in the corporate world. They're very afraid to speak up at all levels of an organization. And I always tell people, you already have a seat at the table. Your organizations hired you. They're paying you a lot of money to be here. They want to hear from you. And so when you were talking about, you're the whole board, you're not just a piece on it. It's that same kind of feeling for me, is that you have so much more, you're so much more empowered than you really realize that you are. So I love that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of similarities. I work, except the pay, except the pay. Having worked in both spaces, yeah.
That's funny. Is there anything unique about this topic for camp pros?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, being in the middle means you're constantly alternating. You're leading and you're following. And it's this immense mental and emotional form of multitasking, which really means you're not doing either thing well, because when you're switching from one to the other, there's like this residual energy on the thing you just left. And so you're disengaging and engaging. And
Mhm.
anybody in the middle is dealing with like a vertical code switching and shifting of power. And in the middle, it's constant shifting. Within a day, you're shifting back and forth from higher power to lower power. But in camp, there's this whole other piece that I think is less common in my experience in other fields, because you have somebody who for 10 months out of the year isn't shifting. They have no direct reports. And
Mm.
then now 2 months of the year, all of a sudden they do have direct reports, or they only have one direct report and now they have 7 direct reports, right? Or more. And so it's not like a muscle that gets used necessarily all year long, but then in the summer you have to have a whole different skill set of middle management. It may be that during the year you're a follower, which, by the way, people don't talk enough about fellowship skills. We're so hung up, I think, sometimes on how to be a leader that we forget that we can't all be leaders, because then people have to also know how to follow. And so there's the yearly cycle of code switching, but then there's
Yeah.
also this piece of, well, now not only do I have these direct reports, let's say, but I'm power switching 24 hours a day, right? Especially, in residential camping, where till midnight or 1 a.m. you're code switching.
Yeah.
And even in the day camp setting, it's like I am the assistant director and it's just me and my boss, but now I'm in charge of aquatics and ropes and sports and buses and transportation, during the year, not to mention parents, which is a whole other, code switching. So I think as camp pros, we need to be constantly adjusting and developing our tools for in the camping world, we talk about 10 for 2. So there's my middle management in the 10, and then there's my middle management in the 2, which I think is pretty special for camps.
Yeah, yeah, amazing, amazing. And I really like what you said too about like knowing how to be a follower. I mean, I think there's leadership skills in knowing how to be a follower. When are you really listening? When are you, taking the time to give other people space? When are you being supportive? When are you collaborating? Those are all, to me, those are all also important, part of leadership skills, not just being the cook in the kitchen.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that if we can cultivate and work our fellowship skills, it does lead to better leadership skills. And also this sense of like, I remember when, here's what I would have wanted, if I thought about it. And now here's me being able to also give it. And even the boss may not be the boss, right? Because the boss has the camp owner or the board of, the camp board or the larger umbrella organization that their camp belongs to, when you work with things like Girl Scouts or YMCA, there's always like this other level. So also remembering that even though you're middle managing to your supervisor, thinking about, well, where's my supervisor,
Yeah.
in the middle of their structure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fascinating, fascinating topic. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up our nugget together?
No, I'm really excited to bring this session in. I actually developed it based on the responses I got from participants in previous tri-state sessions around task management and, because there was a like, but what about if your boss doesn't X, or what do I do? And I saw this like need for that middle management. So I'm excited to now bring it, back to tri-state, having developed it from the needs that I was hearing from the participants and the attendees at tri-state. So, and I'm excited to be back. I haven't been back since 2020, right before, we all hugged each other in January of 2020. And then we're like, we have been hugging. Yeah.
Oh,
So excited to be
totally
back.
so great. Oh, that's awesome. So thank you so much. Remember everyone, Diana is going to be speaking on Tuesday, March 12th at 3:15 p.m. So make sure you catch her because this is a fascinating topic. And I'm going to be speaking on Wednesday, March 13th at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to be talking about creating rock stars, designing collaborative high performance teams. So bring your coffee and join me because leading a high performance team that can be consistently relied upon is an absolute must in order to thrive and serve others in today's changing and challenging landscape. So thank you so much, Diana. I really look forward to meeting you in March.
Thank you so much.